Hello folks, welcome to the Poly Champions YouTube. Roads now cost 3 stars. So how to play Yadakk? In this Yadakk strategy guide, you'll see the tribe's optimal starting moves, how to take advantage of a corner spawn, what to do in the mid and late game, and how to deal with water maps. Okay, let's learn how to play Yadakk. Do you remember the good old days before Path of the Ocean? Before the naval rework when roads cost 2 stars and you could get to the end of turn 5 with Yadakk with 10 stars per turn, sometimes 12 stars per turn, and 5 to 7 stars to spend? Yeah, those days are gone. Yadakk fans across the square have been outraged at their tribe's nerf and the increased cost of roads. So what to do now? Should you move your first warrior without a road? No! The optimal opening still uses roads. We'll call this the standard 3-road opening. On your first turn, build a road in a direction where you think resources indicate a village. Try to build the road diagonally towards the corner of your territory, then get a second warrior. Next, move the first warrior to the village you find, and move the second warrior the other direction to uncover a second village. We'll explain later what to do if you don't find a second village. Next turn, move the warrior to the second village and capture the first village. You might be tempted to get org or another tech before capture, but don't do it. Just get the city. Tech costs will not go up too much because you added 1 star per turn in income. Here again, do not get a tech. Capture the village and upgrade the capital with 2 roads. This is why we call this the 3-road opening. 1, 2, 3. Then the workshop. Think about future unit movement when placing roads. Here, I should have placed my road 1 tile east. I want to go more east because there's water to the west. Next turn, consider a 3rd warrior if the map seems to favor more villages near the capital. Here, it looks likely there's a village to the north, plus there's the lighthouse in the corner. More on lighthouses later. Finally, on your 6th turn, aka T5, now you get org. Upgrade both cities. Then move your warriors to look for villages. This leaves you with 10 stars per turn and 2 stars to spare unless you already got that 3rd warrior. Here are the steps in the 3-road opening. These will also be in the description. Now let's look at what to do if you don't find a second village. We'll begin as we did before. Build a road diagonally in the direction you're likely to find a village. Get that second warrior. Oh dear, no second village. Looking at this map, I should have made my road west. There are more resource indicators that way, but let's keep playing just to show what to do when you don't find that second village. Have your first warrior claim the first village and get a 3rd warrior. We get the 3rd warrior because there's a good chance that the unit can find a village. Keep moving your 2nd warrior, hoping to look for some other elusive village or maybe a ruin. Don't get a tech yet. Keep moving your warriors to look for villages or ruins. It's not until you get to T5. T5 is the earliest chance that you can get org and upgrade a city. Get 1 workshop. Here, I should have upgraded the capital using a road and a fruit instead of 2 fruit. Placing a road makes upgrading the next city cheaper. Also, more connections to the capital helps get a giant in the Grand Bazaar later. Here's the overview. Next, we'll consider the scenario when you don't find a second village, but you also don't want a 3rd warrior. Here, there's no point in getting another warrior, and there's a good chance that the second warrior will find a village if it keeps moving. In this situation, capture that first village and don't get a tech yet. Keep moving your 2 warriors to look for villages or ruins. You can get org on T4 before capturing that second village, and then upgrade 1 city. Here, I upgrade the city with 2 fruit because it can grow to a level 3 upgrade later. If none of the cities could have been upgraded to level 3, then 2 roads connecting to the capital would have been better. This option gives you 6 stars per turn by the end of T4. Here's another possible way to start with Yadakk. What do you do if you don't find a village on T0 with your first warrior? Get a second warrior anyway. As before, move your warriors to where resources indicate a village. If a ruin is close, go for it. When you get to T3, go ahead and get org before you capture your first village. Then, on the next turn, if you have a city you can upgrade to level 3 later, upgrade that one to get a workshop with fruit first. Keep moving your warriors to find villages. Use fruit to upgrade more cities. If a lighthouse is within striking distance, go for that. We'll talk more about lighthouse spawns next. This opening gives you 9 stars per turn at the end of turn 5, with 1 star to spare. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me leading wherever I choose. I inhale great draughts of space. The east and west are mine, and the north and south are mine. All seems beautiful to me. Come, the road is before us.
What if you are fortunate enough to spawn in the corner of the map? Time to take advantage of that lighthouse. As before, build a road towards the corner, the diagonal of the map, and towards the lighthouse. Get a second warrior. Move the first warrior to the village, move the second warrior the other way to find another village. On T2, capture that first village. If that village location lets you see a lighthouse, go ahead and connect it with 1 road and upgrade your capital to get a workshop. Otherwise, on the next turn, T3, move your warrior to uncover the lighthouse. Then use a road to connect to your capital and get a workshop. Capture that second village. Consider getting a third warrior if there are resource indicators suggesting another village around your capital. Finally, on T5, get org and upgrade your city. Here, I should have upgraded the capital with a road and 2 fruits. That would have saved me 1 star and given 1 more road connection to my capital. If your capital spawns in a corner where you start with 1 population from a lighthouse, there's a similar approach. Place a road on the diagonal, move your first warrior, and then get a second. Move your first warrior to the village, and send your second warrior to look for another. Capture the first village and connect it with a road to get a workshop in your capital. Get org on T3 before you capture your second village. Either way, you want to find that lighthouse as soon as possible to get that free population, then use a road to get a workshop in your capital. If a road start doesn't look good for the map, treat it like you would any other tribe. This might happen when there's a mountain blocking the optimal place for a road, or because there are no resource indications for villages nearby. Simply do a 2 warrior opening with no road and make the best of it. There are also bad spawns where you should just resign. Now let's look at strategies for archipelago and continents. Archipelago maps are not great for Yadakk. There's a higher chance of suboptimal spawns where road openings are bad because villages are blocked by water or mountains. You can still start with making a road and follow resource indicators for villages. Use org to upgrade your first cities. If at all possible, uncover a lighthouse as early as you can. Then get sailing and ports to put warriors on the water. Remember, ports act as connection tiles, so be smart with your port placement to get more population for your capital. Send your rafts to find and claim villages. From there, just do your best with naval. Continents maps give better spawns than Archipelago for Yadakk. You usually can get at least 2 villages and upgrade them with fruit and roads before you get on the water. If you can get a strong economy going, you can get sailing or aquaculture to upgrade your rafts before sending them out to explore. The key with any tribe on water maps is to get on the water fast and build your economy to support a navy. Since bridges are now part of the roads tech, Yadakk is the only tribe that can use a bridge in the early game. Sometimes, on continents maps, you might want to get a bridge to gain early access to a new landmass. There are some late game situations where you might want to build a bridge to send a knight across to attack. However, for units other than knights, it's usually more cost effective to make a port and put that unit in a raft than to build a bridge. Once you get beyond turn 5, you need to think about other techs. Usually that means riders. Riders go very well with roads. They're not as useful in the early game since riders cannot move through fog any faster than warriors. However, once you meet an opponent or get vision from an explorer, riders are super useful. Move them along the roads, attack, and zip back to safety. Keep track of kills to get a veteran. Get explorers in cities that give you a good chance to get vision on your opponent, and maybe even find a lighthouse. Connecting your cities with roads is the easiest way to get that first giant in your capital. The network task is achieved by connecting 5 cities to your capital. Then you'll get 2 monuments, the Park of Fortune and the Grand Bazaar. Farming is another great tech for Yadakk in the mid and late game. First, farms often allow you to upgrade some of your cities to level 3. More importantly, farming is a great way to get giants. And I mean so many giants. With roads, you can move your giants quickly to the battlefront. And if you have enough giants attacking together, even a squad of archers won't be able to stop them. An option if you have a good number of animals is hunting and archery. While the riders meta is faster than going archers as riders require only 1 tech instead of 2, riders don't allow as much constant pressure as archers do. Riders have to take retaliation damage to attack, while archers can attack from a distance and keep their health. This is great for countering giants. Plus, if you have a lot of forests, archery gives your units a defense bonus. Since you already have org, getting the strategy tech to make defenders gives archers even more power. Defenders in the front with archers in the back is a consistent and powerful approach, better than riders alone. It can be very tempting to get knights with Yadakk. After all, using roads, knights can move 6 tiles. If you can chain through 3 units or more to get a veteran, you often can siege and keep a city. However, if your opponent has enough units to unsiege and kill the knight, or if they have strong units like giants to use a zone of control to prevent your knights from getting chain kills, Knights alone will not be enough to win. Here's an example of a late Yadakk game with players choosing very different strategies. Archers and defenders versus riders and knights. They both started out with org as their first tech. The host, the one with the skin, got riders on turn 5. On turn 12, the pink player goes for archers. He also places his warriors on forest tiles for the defense bonus. And on turn 12, they both get giants with road connections and monuments. On turn 14, the host gets free spirit, preparing to get knights later on. Later, on turn 16, the pink player gets strategy and defenders. This gives even more protection to his archers. They both get farming to grow their cities and get more giants. And on turn 18, the host gets knights. But it's too late. The knights can't break through the line of fortified defenders, while the archers in the back whittle down the giants. In the end, it's pink, the player with the archers and defenders, who wins versus the riders and the knights. A link to the replay of this game will be in the description. Although Yadakk has easier access to the trade tech than any other tribe, it is rarely used. That's because you need at least one other tier 3 building, like a sawmill, windmill, or forge, to be able to place a market. Most Yadakk games are decided long before the players get that far in the tech tree. If you do get that far in the game, other technology, such as diplomacy or navigation, is usually a better investment. That's our Yadakk guide. Before we end, I want to say a big thank you to these Poly Champions players for their help making this strategy guide. Thanks for watching! Please like and subscribe, it helps us a lot. Let us know in the comments what tribe you want a strategy guide for next. Join our Discord server and become part of the Poly Champions League. A link to the Discord is in the description. To learn more about unit movement, including how riders, knights, and roads work in Polytopia, watch our movement guide. Okay, take care. See you on the next one.